supposed to checkmate the executive. The legislative the legislative house, the assembly that's supposed to checkmate the executive, they are not doing their work. They are more or less like let me use this language, party, working hand in hand. Judiciary, to some extent, they are somehow they have been able to exert their independence from the executive and the legislature, but a lot needs to be done. So the Nollywood actor, I believe, he's just frustrated with the whole thing, but it's not coming from him to discourage Nigerians from taking their PVC. It's not in order. We must take our PVC, and when we continue the process, at least one day we'll get it right.
Definitely
we'll get it right. Where we are coming from in 1999, it's not the same. We had the election in 1999 to 2023, 2027, 2007, 2011, and 2015 and 2019. So at least the processes is not the same. In 2011, there was no what is the name, card reader, but now we have card reader. By the time the president has sent this electoral act, definitely we have a transmission of result electronically. You understand? Which is what we have been clamoring for. And one day we'll get to that stage of electronic voting, whereby when you thumbprint here now, it will reflect on the server automatically. So that process of transparency, definitely it will come one day.
Yes.
So we shouldn't be discouraged.
And it's not time to give up, Nigerians.
If we give up, our children will suffer.
It's not time to
if we give up, where it's like we are carrying over the decay for our children. And I mean, for our own children to witness this system that we are in today, no. It's not what we wish them. Even your enemy, you can't wish your enemy that. So that's Nollywood actor issue. Just withdraw his statement.
I think it's just out of discouragement and all. Our advice to him is I shouldn't give up.
He shouldn't give up at all.
Yes, he shouldn't give up at all. He's a Nigerian, and he has to stand. You have to stay. Not just him. There are so many people out there that are so discouraged right now. See, as a Nigerian, don't be discouraged. Keep on fighting till we get there.
You see, the problem with us is that we have agencies by the government. There are a lot of we have a NOA. The NOA that their main work is to sensitize the general public regarding issues like what we're discussing now, reorientation. But they are not doing their work. You understand? When they don't do their work, you now discover that voices of individuals become louder. You understand? So that is exactly what is happening. So government agencies that are set up, even the Ministry of Information is there. They're supposed to lead this sensitization campaign. They're supposed to carry along guys like this same actor, carry them along. You have heard of Two-Face Idibia, of that aspect of votes without violence.
Yes.
So there are a lot of them like that. Federal Minister of Information should carry them along to lead the campaign, sensitization campaign towards Nigerians having their PVC. If we don't have our PVC, how do we elect the credible leaders that we desire? So that is it.
Don't give up on Nigeria. Vote. Get your PVC. It's not time. It's not just the time.
It's annoying, but there's no two ways about it. We have to keep trying.
Well, this is coming from a father of pupil who died in Anambra State, a school in Anambra State. None of my children will attend boarding school in Nigeria. Well, so many things have been happening when it comes to boarding school. Of course, it has its own advantage, but the disadvantages are really getting out of hand now. We have records of students dying, losing their lives.
I mean,
it's getting. The first one was the one we heard was from Dowen, and now it's the one from Anambra State.
Even the one in Abuja here, that the girl was raped, and all these are sad issues. They are sad. You know, as a father or a mother, you suffer to raise a child. and you bond with a child. Suddenly now something will just happen. Say your child they just died like that.
Isn't that a crime to take your child to the boarding school?
It's the kind of boarding school. If you look at during our own time, I went to a boarding school from GSS 1 to SS3. You understand? There was discipline. In fact, what we consider discipline then, if they apply little of it to the children of nowadays, the children of nowadays, they are no more that children of our own days. So that can even is in homes, that discipline is no longer there. So you could see, you go to take a child to a school, a boarding school, they bully them, their mates bully them, their seniors bully them. You understand? So it's not longer encouraging to send a ward to boarding school. If you look at the modern day of education now, school play their own role in the upbringing of a pupil. Likewise, parent too. That is why you see them. They will give them assignment. Those ones in day. They will give them assignment. Take it to your mother at home. She will sit you down, assist you to do it. So in the olden days, parents rely heavily on schools to build their children. But now it has changed. That kind of discipline that were meted at us cannot be applied today. Schools today cannot even say, okay, shout at a pupil. If you shout, that child will go back and tell the mother, and the mother will come drive the following day drive to the school. See, my son or daughter always tell me that you did this to her or to him. So that is it. So it's now scary to send to
even train the child in a boarding
school because to me there are so many things now. That your children now, the incidences of cultism is in the primary school.
Primary school, so pathetic.
So when you have your child that leave your home to the school, you at least monitor that child. You monitor his progress in even the academics. You monitor it, what he does. You monitor it. So I will support that father to say, okay, he's no longer. You can imagine the father. He said he's not educated, but you now see the difference between him and his children should be that education.
Yes.
He said, I will give them that education. Send a child to secondary school. All of a sudden now it's about the death of the child. Haba, it's touching. Look at the case of Dowen School. That one is there. Even if you have many children, children are children. So that is it. So I think to avoid that, the school authority too, they should review their own system too. You understand? The school must review its own system.
Some matrons don't even have time for. I won't mention schools, but some matrons, they don't have time for the students. Even if they come reporting, they don't give them listening ears.
Yeah, you see, like.
Or they are not always around. It's either they are selling clothes.
You see, like.
Or doing business.
Let me give you an instance. During our own school days, when we were in the junior class, we have housemasters. We have a kind of every house must have a head of the house. Then apart from that again, those ones in the SS class, they now assign us to serve under them. You must provide the water that your senior will use to bath.
I mean, it's still happening.
You must take his go to the dining to take his ration of food. You bring it. You see, during that time we had what we call a cutting tail, whereby they said, okay, all the junior, those ones in GSS 1 that newly came, you line up, you fight, they came. But you understand, during the process, some of our mates, they ran away from school. So you understand. So these are what we pass through. But you look at it very well today. The modern era now doesn't tolerate that, doesn't condone that. You understand. And imagine a child that even the mother has never for once shout at. You now take that child to a boarding school. Then all of a sudden, one this thing will start flogging that child. That one is aside. What about their own mates? Bullying. You understand? So that father, I support him.
Mm.
The era of boarding school is no more this thing again. It's no longer feasible to send your child to a boarding school
Until they review.
until
yes.
they review it. There must be, though you know the issue of education is like it runs on a concurrent list of the constitution, whereby both the federal government, both the state government, they have input to make regarding how the education should be. So individual states can come up with new laws on boarding schools. Boarding school, not that it's bad, it's okay. It's just that now that these things is happening, we cannot continue to lose children in the name of boarding school. We cannot continue this way.
And every parent should now begin to have time for their children.
Yes, okay, like the case of
Dowen.
Sylvester. Sylvester, it was based on what the parents said. It was at the point of his death that he decided to open up. All along, he refused to open up on what transpired. You understand? So, I believe it's due to that fear instilled in some of these children. They won't speak out. So you won't blame the parents. No matter how close the children are to their parents, they will not disclose because they believe that if they expose what is happening in the school, they will still come back to that school again, and it will become double punishment. So that is why you see some of these children, they will now keep quiet. They will not talk exactly what is happening. So, but it's high time the schools management, they should look into some of these complaints. It doesn't mean that because it doesn't happen in your own school, no, that it will not happen. It will happen. You understand? So schools, they should look kind of a review, inward review. The government doesn't even need to come in now. This incident, if you are running a school that has a boarding session, they should look into it very well. You understand?
Yes.
So how many persons in a room, and how would they pair them? Will you pair them to say, okay, those within the same age grade, they should be in the same room? How many persons in one room? 2, 3, 4 in one room. What kind of facilities they provide for them? Is it the kind of facility whereby will require one who should go and get water for? No, you understand. When it comes to that, certainly the issue of seniority will come into play, and issue of bullying will come. So that is it.
Whew. Well, that's it for morning briefing today. Thank you all for staying with us. I remain Dayo Olujuwon Ekuni.
And I'm Mustafa Abdul Malik.
Uncle Mustilala. Have a wonderful day. See you in the evening. Bye. Because at the end of the day, they will say, Abala Leko.